XRP.
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 Attention XRP fans and holders. It's happening again, right before your eyes. History is repeating. The same exact patterns are repeating as we speak, but it stops now. I'm about to unveil the facts, and you can see the patterns. You can see those patterns repeated in 2017, and the same exact patterns repeated in 2021. And so far, the same exact patterns are repeating again. This leads us to a huge clue. What could happen next? Because what happens next in this pattern that's right in front of your eyes is mind-boggling. It's a massive opportunity. It could change a lot of lives. If this pattern repeats, it could be huge. But there's one problem. This candle right here that just printed for XRP has the potential to ruin dreams. I need to let you in on this candle, its impact to you and your holdings, and what it means for this next move. Because there's one way XRP could avoid this candle and continue this pattern that could explode everything. In this video, I'm gonna let you in on these clues in the charts. We're gonna uncover the facts, and we are about to get to the bottom of it. Let's get into it. Welcome, I'm Steve. Here we deliver honest, sponsorship-free TA with genuine value. Subscribe for a no BS approach that actually helps you. Subscribe. So here we are, XRP US dollar, and today we're on the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, this exact pattern repeats time and time again. Take a look. 2017, you see this green box. What happened in this green box is we entered it the first time when the first huge explosion. And by the way, this explosion may look small on the chart. It's not. This explosion is actually bigger than this explosion. Just to the naked eye, it looks small. This is a major explosion. In other words, XRP entered this green box with its first massive explosion. And then a specific amount of days later, boom, the second explosion hits, and it was a rocket ship. And then the pattern completes and the whole thing reenacts. We have a devastating bear market, and then the pattern repeats. Fast forward, 2021, this first huge explosion here just touched this green box. And then a specific amount of days later, the second explosion hits. The whole thing absolutely explodes. XRP takes the world by storm. It surprises almost everybody except for the ones that noticed this pattern. Because a specific amount of days later, out of the blue, boom, the second explosion hits. And then what happens? The whole thing repeats. Boom, devastating, drawn out bear market, and the whole thing repeats. History always repeats itself, but it takes investors by surprise, but no longer for you. That's why you just subscribe, so you can be far ahead of it. But look at what happens next. In this cycle we're in right now, we have just entered this green box. But it doesn't stop just there, because we've done something in this explosion that we're in right now that we didn't do in 2021, in all of 2021. Not only this explosion that we just had created the first higher high that we've had since 2021, we've done it in such a fantastic way where the RSI actually also took out the prior swing high of April 2021, the legendary month of April 2021 for XRP. That month we just took out. By the way, in the next video, I'm going to show you this chart, and you do not want to miss it because XRP is about to do something it hasn't done in 2,000 days. Hit that subscribe button right now. You do not want to miss this next video. So we've entered this green box. We took out our pivot high in the RSI, and we took out our pivot high in price action. But as I mentioned, there's a huge wrench, a huge curveball thrown into the mix. This candle that we just printed on the monthly. This has the potential to take your hopes and dreams, crush them up in a ball, and throw them in the trash. We're going to get to what this is towards the end of the video, and I'm going to unveil what I think honestly about this candle and how it pertains to you and your holdings and your future investments in XRP. But first, we've got to dig up more of the facts about what's happening with this pattern because it's absolutely fascinating. Let's dig deeper into the time. We have mentioned in 2017, we entered this green box or touched it 2 times. The first time was this explosion here, which was 5,000% gain. It was actually a larger gain than the second explosion. More on that in a moment. What's more interesting is the time in between. As we take a measured move, it's a couple hundred days, which means we had this first explosion here, and then a couple hundred days later, the second explosion hit. And it took the world by storm. A lot of people weren't ready for it because it almost came out of the blue, and it came so fast and so powerful that it was over before you even knew it began. And you don't want to let that happen to you. These big moves that XRP makes, it makes them quickly, it makes them really, really, really confidently, but they happen so fast, and if you don't know they're coming, you don't know where to look. Now, where people get it wrong, and remember this if you've ever invested before, a lot of people think you make all of your money buying and selling. That's not true. The majority of the money you make is going to be in the waiting. Let that sink in for a moment, because what everyone online is trying to brainwash you to believe is all of your money is made in the buying and selling. That is completely BS. Try to interview anybody who has been an investor or trader for a substantial amount of time. I'm talking decades. All of them will tell you all of your money is in the waiting, not in the buying and the selling. What does that mean? Well, for those folks who bought in 2021, and maybe they bought at the bad time, maybe they bought at around $1, maybe they bought a little bit higher than $1, and everyone told them they were idiots, and the market started to crash, and their portfolio started to crash, but they were believers in this. They didn't focus on the buying. They didn't focus on the selling. They focused on the waiting, and the waiting has just paid off, and it's paid off fantastically. And they are probably laughing in the face of everyone who told them that they were crazy to continue holding such a project. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. That, my friends, is what I mean. I want you to get a different mindset when it comes to investing in trading. It's not what it's all cracked out to be on the internet of all of these fast trades, and you drive a Lambo tomorrow and suddenly you're just throwing money everywhere. That's not the reality. That's not what happens. So what we've discovered is it's a couple hundred days, right? We looked at this 2017 green box, entered 2 times. We realized it's a couple hundred days in between. That is the pattern we're really honing in on. And we look at 2021 and we say, okay, we understand this is the top. We understand this is the bear market. We understand price went sideways for a long time. When we start to dig into it, we can see these crosses that happen, right? These are the secret crosses that I have told you. And once again, those of you who are new, we have the 9 SMA. So you go to your indicators, you type in SMA, you put that bad boy on there, and you put it in green. You take the other SMA and you put that at 21 and you put it in red. And what you're simply looking for is when the green crosses above the red. You can see each time this has happened, it's spelled an absolute game changer of gains. It encompasses both the first and the second explosion happening right after said cross. For example, 2021. Cross happened here. This is the first explosion. This is the second explosion. 2021, fast forward, cross happens here. This is the first explosion. This is the second explosion. And what has happened since? We've had the cross, and here we are. So this is where it takes us for today. When you look deeper into it, you can see 2021, we had that first explosion, which happened in November 2020. Now we look at how many days in between. We understand the prior cycle was a couple hundred. Well, this was also a couple hundred. We're looking at a couple hundred days, 150 to 250 days of period in between the first explosion and the second explosion. Now, this has happened consecutively in the cycle of 2017 and the cycle of 2021, making it really noteworthy material. Now, we also have to be honest with ourselves. Cryptocurrency hasn't been out for 65 years. We don't have 10 to 15 different cycles to analyze the data. In front of us, we have two. We understand both of them acted very similarly. That leads us into the cycle we're in now. We understand that this 2021 April was a legendary month for XRP, and after that, bear market. You can see what the bear market did. It also held key market structure during this bear market, holding support at what used to be our resistance in the prior bear market. Incredibly noteworthy. Once it did that, it built its market structure, it built its base, and we had that first sort of explosion happening in July 2023. During this time period, we were still met with resistance in the RSI as well as price action. Whereas that first explosion and the second explosion here broke through resistance, making new market structure and a new pivot high, making it a completely different type of pattern, right? So we could assume that July 2023 needs to be up for debate to be inside of this box. More on that later. But we're just going to react to the data that's in front of us, not what could have happened if things altered in the past. We've got 2 data points in 2017, 2 data points in 2021, and those are the 2 largest explosions in each market cycle. What we have in our hands for 2025 is our first real market explosion. This one was legendary, and if you weren't ready for it, it caught you by storm. Right? What we know about this type of move? Well, it moved into our green box. Our green box, if you're on a monthly chart, our green box has the high of 96 and the low of 65, meaning 65 is a key piece of market structure because of the data point for October 2017 and the resistance of November 20. When you take that in consideration, it gives us this structure of 65 in the monthly RSI. Right now, we have blown past this previous swing high of November 20 and the higher high of April 21, and we made even a higher high. Now, when we're here in this green box, that's a phenomenal sign. We also look to the bottom of our screen to the stochastic RSI, and we understand we still have momentum. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Looking at the data that's in front of our face, we can't argue that XRP still has a remarkable amount of momentum behind it. There's no way to argue otherwise, given just the facts we have in front of our eyes right now. Given this information in this chart, which has the stochastic RSI, the RSI, price action, 2 moving averages on a monthly scale, XRP still has room to go up, plain and simple, right? Until proven otherwise. There is one thing standing in the way that could really change the game, that could throw a huge curveball in the mix and catch a lot of people by surprise. That's this monthly candle here. Let's dig more into that, because that could cause a lot of people to get very upset. Let's hone in. What we have is this big red arrow pointing to this candle. This candle's in this red circle here. What we notice about this red candle is we have a long upper wick. We also have a little lower wick and a fat body, right? This is not a gravestone doji candle, but it's kind of like the little brother of the gravestone doji candle. Now, what is this called? This is a shooting star candle. What a shooting star is, it's essentially very similar to a gravestone doji candle. Now, if you're not familiar with that, we'll just keep it simple. What we need is a really thin body, and we need that body to be towards the bottom. That body could be red or green, it makes no difference. What's important in this structure is the wick. We need a long upper wick. How long, you ask? We need it to be 2 to 3 times the size of this body. So if the body is that thick, we need that wick to be a couple times larger than that. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. This shooting star candle can have a tiny lower wick, but it cannot be long. It needs a really long upper wick. So a shooting star is found at the tops of rallies and generally spells trend reversal. What it means is price started around here, right? Price opened around $2 in the month of December. And in December, price started at $2, but it shot all the way up to almost $3. Now, when it did that, a lot of profit taking happened. So a lot of big pockets sold their XRP, shooting price back down. And when it did, it actually closed back around $2. This is a problem. It tells the market that, hey, this is a shooting star candle, which is found at the tops of rallies, which has a relatively thin body, little to no lower wick, and a long upper wick. And it essentially means that the bulls of XRP have lost control. Plain and simple, they've lost control. Now, there's one thing that could save the day, because this candle has come in and said, hey, there could be a big trend reversal coming. XRP has the chance to null and void this candle if the candle we're in now does something very, very specific. And it's got, a couple weeks to try to do exactly that. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because we're in a situation where, hey, we've entered this green box, and what usually happens after the first explosion is there's this big cool off period for a couple hundred days before the second explosion. We could be in the very beginning stages of that, or this thing could be over before we know it. It really depends on this candle and what happens in the candle we're in right now. Let's dig more into that. So as we're in this candle right now, you can see it's a big green candle, but we're literally in the middle of the month, meaning that this won't become clear until the candle closes. Now, what do we need this candle to do to null and void this dirty candle that we want to get rid of? One thing and one thing only. XRP. In the month of January, by the time we get to the end of January, it's 11:59 UTC time, and we close that monthly candle. We need price of this monthly candle to get higher than the highest price of the prior candle. If XRP in this monthly candle closes at a higher price than the highest price of the previous month, it will null and void the shooting star candle. It will take away the bear case, and there'll be much further upside to go. So what is that price? This month, XRP needs to close above $2.90 to null and void the dirty shooting star candle. Leave your comments down below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you right back here in the next video. This bull run is our road to 500,000 subscribers, but I need your help. Today, tell one person about our YouTube channel, how we spit facts, go against the herd, take no paid sponsorships of any kind. Road to 500,000, let's go.